Yay! I'm so excited for the cardboard email. That's gonna be so fun. Okay, awesome. Well, this is actually kind of nice that it's just a little bit smaller because I actually have something in here that um, I'm going to ask for a little bit of participation. But um, okay, so we're going to chat mindset tonight. I actually have. I was originally thinking about talking about influence because my heart has been there a little bit lately, and Katie and I have been chatting about that in our like RVP to be with Missy on Wednesday nights a little bit. So that was kind of where my heart was leading me, and then it just kind of like switched to mindset because um, we all know that mindset is so crucial in this business. It like, if anything, I think it is one of the most important things because I think it is either what keeps us going or what completely takes us out of the game. And so I have been struggling with my mindset a little bit lately. And so I was just like, this is going to be so good for me to just do a training on this and really just speak from my heart, but also uh, really learn this for myself as well, and just to continue to just speak this into my life as well, and into my business. So I'm going to start with just a little quote by, okay, she's one of my favorites, and Christine Caine. Some of you probably know her. She's a well-known Christian speaker, but she says that one of the biggest battles you'll have to face every single day of your life is the battle to stay focused on what you've been called to do and not get distracted by what everyone else is doing. And I don't know about you guys, but that is like, that's everything, right? It's like so many people, you guys, like can't even see what we're doing and they don't understand what we're doing. um, but that's okay, and they don't have to. And we're called to share this business and invite other people to take a look at this and ask them if this is for them. But at the end of the day, like, it's not our decision to make people understand what we're doing, right? That's something that we invite people into this, and then they really get to discover that for themselves. And so that is something that I have just absolutely loved growing in myself in this business. And I think just so much of it has to do with our mindset. So what we've all heard this before, but I'm just going to reiterate it because I think it's so important. But what we think about comes about. And like, whatever you're talking to yourself, whatever you're saying to yourself, that is what is going to become your reality. And that is just a proven fact. And we have just seen that time and time and time again. And so I'm going to dig into that just in a little bit later. But you guys, just like everything else, we become successful really based on our habits, right? We all know that. We did Atomic Habits this last quarter. It was so good. We don't really become successful on short bursts of motivation. And this is why I decided to speak on this tonight, because this is exactly where I feel like I have been at lately. I've been waiting for my moments of like motivation, and they come, but they're very, very far few in between. And I'll just like burst into this little motivation and then like do my work. But it is like our everyday, right? It's those little tiny habits that are going to build and build and build upon each other. That is ultimately, all of a sudden, we're going to look back and be like, whoa, that's what happened because of my consistency, right? And so I think that so oftentimes my children are trying to get into the room right now. So I apologize for any pounding on the door that you hear. So how do we do this? How do we do this with our mindset, right? Because I believe that our mindset is so similar to just habits of working our business. I believe that it's in habits of working out, in our financial goals, in whatever it is. I think our mindset is really the same thing. And so what are things that we're doing every single day to make sure that our mindset is good, so that when things come about that try to take us out of this, like, I feel busy, or I feel overwhelmed, or so-and-so said this, or I heard, negative talk about our industry, just lies and fears and doubts that kind of creep in. If our mindset is not strong, that's ultimately then what might pull us out of this, right? But if we work on our mindset every single day, just those little tiny habits that we do, what are, when those things come about, when circumstances come, and like I said, just those fears and doubts, you're not shaken by them because you've built on this foundation, right? And so we want a strong, healthy mindset. And so how do we practically do that? I think that it's just when really, you guys, we decide to take our feelings and our emotions, because I'm sure that we all have a lot of these, but I've just been having a ton recently, and just not letting them dictate if we are going to show up today. Instead, we choose every single day to take steps to move our business forward. And when we really choose that, despite our feelings, our emotions, we're going to develop that mindset, that positive mindset that we're in it for the long haul, a mindset that helps us as professionals to not be taken out, like I said. So here are just some practical things that I have done. And that, again, I feel like all of this is kind of just stuff that we've heard, but sometimes we just need it really reiterated. But that has helped my mindset, and just really propel me into a growth mindset. And really, I kind of like to talk about this like, a professional mindset, because I listened to this training. I cannot remember her name. I should actually look it up. It was so good. But she basically talked about a professional mindset versus like an amateur mindset. And it was so good because I just believe that that has so much to do with like our growth, right? Because really we are professionals. And when people think about us and what we're doing in our business, how we show up, how we interact with people, we really want to be represented as professionals. And so I want a mindset that is not only positive and healthy and strong, but one that also just shows up in my business as a professional instead of this amateur mindset. So a couple things that have helped me, which again, I'm sure we all know, but just really, really good. Number one, affirmations. Affirmations are so important. I just cannot even tell you guys enough how much my affirmations have, like, almost, you guys, even though I'm not an executive national vice president, I actually, when I like reach out to people, I like feel like I am an executive national vice president, because that is just what I've like spoken over to myself. I am an ENVP. I am a leader. People are looking for this. I am a world changer. I'm known and loved and treasured. I am a great wife. I am a great mom. I am a great business leader, like all these things. And so again, when I do my reach outs, when I sit down and do my work, I actually feel like I'm like, I could be an executive national vice president. Like I feel like that. And so affirmations are so key, so huge, and is something that has totally changed the game for me. The second thing is listening to encouraging podcasts and stories from other people that have walked before us. And so not only do I listen to SoundClouds and just different trainings, but I love, I think stories are what build our belief. And that is what I oftentimes need to hear, is I need to hear other people's stories, because that is what not only makes me believe that I can also do this, but it kind of puts me in like, who else could I see, as this being a part of their story. And so when I'm listening to people's stories, I'm always thinking about who could hear this story and have their lives be changed. So not only is it going to build belief for yourself, but it is going to start to really expand your mind into who else could this story really change their life. So those have been the next things. Obviously, we all know our trainings, but I've just been loving listening to stories of people in Arbonne. And you can also find those, like the Ion Arbonne stories, that are just on, I think they're still on The Source, right? I used to love when we used to get them in our boxes. I like miss that so much, you guys. I would like hang them on my fridge and like read them consistently. I thought those were so good. But Ion Arbonne's, I think every national vice president has done them. I'm not really sure how that works, but so they're in The Source. if you want to go check out those, and they're so awesome. Third thing is really visualizing our dreams and our goals. Mel talks about this a lot. She has told me like that she has visualized, the dress that, not only like the dress that like she's going to wear, but she also visualizes handing keys to her teammates. That was something that was huge for me at Megan's car party, that I was like, I don't even want to, like, I was like, I can't, not that I'm not excited to get to where Megan was, but I was like, Missy, like, I want to be the one who's handing out the keys. And that like clicked with me at Megan's car party, where I was like, I don't want to just like receive my keys. Like, I want to visualize actually handing keys to other people on my team, helping them chase their dreams, helping them change their lives. So actually sitting down and visualizing, like, what do I want? And I heard this, I heard a training the other day about a gal, and she would actually sit down and like, oh, this is gonna like make me tear up because this is like such a beautiful thing. But she would like visualize like giving her parents, because her parents gave her so much in life. And I feel like, Lene and I are sisters, and our parents have just given us so much and have worked so hard for us to just give us the life that we have now. And she was just like, I was just visualizing like giving my parents like $1,000 every month in their retirement, so they could just, like go and do whatever they wanted to because of what they've done in my life. And so just like actually like visualizing those things, like sitting down, closing your eyes, speaking them into fruition, like speaking them that they are happening and they are real, and that is what you are working toward. So I think that is such a big thing. And then speaking life into and over our business is so important. I think Debbie Neal talks about this a lot, of just like, she never says anything negative about Arbonne. Nothing. And that has been something that has just been so eye-opening for me as well. Like, if a client reaches out and they're like, like, I don't like this product, or this, or like anything, I like flip it to just like, hey, Arbonne is so awesome. Like, they will take care of this. They are the best company out there. They love their consumers. They love their customers. We will get this taken care of. So just speaking life over our company, speaking life over your business is just going to start changing your mindset, and really just how you approach your business and how you go about this. And then, of course, we've heard this from Missy time and time again, but really that working from favor rather than working from it. And so those are just kind of things that have just helped me really doing every single day, that have really given me the mindset that I'm so thankful for. Because even in seasons of my business, I've been in this business for a little over 2 years now. And we all know, like, we've all been there. Like, we have seasons where we're just like, I don't really want to do this, or like, or just things that could like take us out of the game or whatever. And like, that's even okay. Like, if there are things that have taken you out, Renee, I know that you shared, I think a couple, maybe last month at our region, just different things where you're just like, gosh, this has just been a tough season, but like, what is going to cause us to come back and just to really go after this. And so I just think building these things up into having such a positive mindset is something that, you guys, is just, it's going to keep us here, and it's going to keep us going, and it's going to keep us working. And, wanting to not only change our own lives, but to change so many other people's lives that are just out there waiting for us to come and ask to join us in this. So, okay, so this is kind of my little fun activity that I found. Like I said, I should look up the gal who I like, because I took this from her training, but this was so good. But she was kind of just talking about like how we can work this business either part-time or full-time, right? But we cannot work this business sometimes. If we just work it sometimes, we're not going to see the results that we want. And so it's okay however you want to work it, but just remember to just work it consistently, whatever you do. Again, I feel like I'm training on this tonight because I need to hear all of this stuff myself. So she was talking about that professionalism mindset versus that amateur mindset. And so I'm going to run through just a couple little things that she talked about that were super powerful for me to hear anyways, of just, how do I want to show up in my business? How do I want other people, when they look at me, to think like, I don't want people to think like, oh, Nicole's doing like this cute little side gig. Like, I want them, I don't know who's all doing the RVP in 90 days, but Cecilia Stoll, when she said like, when people think Arbonne in Oklahoma, I want them to think of my name. And I was like, I'm there. Like, I'm like, when people hear Arbonne in the Fargo Moorhead area, like I want them to be like, oh, that's what Nicole Hines is doing. Like, oh, that's what Nicole does. Because I'm proud of that. And I'm okay if people don't understand what I'm doing. I want to be associated with that. And I want people to know, that I am building this, and that I am building this in a way of, that I'm not giving up. I want people to know like I'm building this with integrity and character. And so that professionalism, I think, is such a big thing. So she was talking about, okay, professionalism versus that amateur. So I'm going to go through these now. So she goes, professionals show up um, every single day, and non-professionals show up when they want to. Professionals show up no matter what, and non allow the small things to distract them. I'm going to change the narrative a little bit. I'm going to start saying I, so that you guys can just kind of put yourself in this. So I'm going to go positive and negative. So positive mindset. I am committed over the long haul. And negative, I'm committed. My commitment comes and goes. Positive, the stakes are high and real for me. Negative, there are no real stakes in this for me. Positive, I accept compensation for my labor. Negative, I don't get paid very much for what I do. Positive, I master the brand that I am creating. Negative, I try to copy others. Positive, I am patient with seeing results. Negative, I want immediate gratification. Positive, I seek order in my work. Negative, I do things half-heartedly. Positive, I act in the face of fear. Negative, fear derails me. Positive, sorry, I have to sometimes look at my writing because I write so messy. I do not allow any excuses. Negative, any excuse is enough for me to pause. Positive, I play it as it lays. Negative, I make it easy for myself. Positive, I come every day prepared to work. Negative, I do what I want when I feel like doing it. Positive, I do not hesitate to ask for help. Negative, I go at this alone. Positive, I do not take failure personally. Negative, I fear rejection. I feel like that was a big one for me. Positive, I endure adversity. Negative, I give up when the going gets tough. Positive, I self-validate. Negative, I crumble under criticism. And positive, I am recognized by others as a professional. And negative, I am known to others as an amateur trying to make it in a professional world. Okay. I don't know if those like hit you guys, but like so many of them, I was just like, because wasn't it just like, it's so good because I really, and I know that all of us, like we want to show up as positive professionals in this industry, in our company, right? Like in our world, like that's what we want. And so it's just so important that we continue to work on these things, like I said, so that our circumstances don't just derail us or make us quit, right? So if you guys want, if any of them stood out to you, I would actually love for you to just share, and then just share a little bit of like your heart behind it if you wrote any down or any that just like stuck out to you. And then, yeah, I can really close it up. So did anybody have any that really stuck out?
I can share. There were lots that stuck out. I took a lot of notes because I think these are good to add to the affirmations too, like you were talking about. But just this one is so basic, but that the stakes are real and high for me. I think just because like I came from a place of having two really great incomes to just having one. And so now it's like legitimately like a real stake for me. And so just that reminder that I just have to keep working, that it's not an option to give up or to stop or to take a break. And so just a good reminder.
So good.
Is it possible to share that list with us, Nicole? That was really, really good.
Yeah, I totally can. I have it, have it just written out, and like I said, my handwriting is just like, but I will get it typed up, and then I'll post it on the Chosen Set Free region page.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
I feel like there wasn't just one. I feel like there was like all of them resonated with me. And like, especially the season that I've been in right now, I've been really quick to like come up with an excuse or come up with a reason. And even if some of my reasons, like on the surface are really valid for needing to step away for a little bit, deep down, I caught myself using them as an excuse. So this was just super encouraging, Nicole.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for sharing.
I love just the like I am viewed as a professional. Like that last one, I mean all of them. I am excited to read those through again because I was like trying to keep up, then I was like, no, I can't. This is all just like, woo, it's so good, just like hitting me like a wave. It's all so good. But yeah, like I will find myself like someone asked me what I did today, and all I said was I have an at-home business. And it's like, well, I mean, technically I'm at home, yeah, but like I've got a badass business. Why am I like, you know, downplaying it to people, you know, like not making myself sound like the professional I know I can be and know that I am. And so that was just so good. Yeah, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, that professional like one hit me too, because we've talked about this, Mel, but I'm just like, I don't want people to think like, oh, this is just some like cute little like side gig. And I feel like so many that is just kind of what people think that it is, and that's totally fine. That's even totally fine if that's what people want it to be for themselves. But I was just like, I just want to show up and like have this be my professional job, right? And I just like think so oftentimes like when I used to be a nurse, and there were like, I loved my job so much, and I loved what I did. I loved my patients. But like, how many days did I like wake up and I was like, I really don't feel like going in? Or especially when I would do the overnight shift, I'd be like, I do not feel like going in. But my mindset, like when I got there, I was like, all right, even like if I don't feel like this, like I'm walking into that patient's room and I am going to like, you know, give them the best experience, and I'm going to love them where they're at. And I am like, you know, and so I just like shut that off of like anything that I was like my feelings or my emotions, right? Like I wouldn't let them get the best of me. I'm like, okay, like I'm a professional, like this is what I do. This person is in the hospital. I'm going to go take my very best care of them. And so I've just asked myself, like, I'm like, why do I not show up like that in my Arbonne, you know, in my Arbonne business? And I want people to be like, yep, this is what Nicole does. Like, this isn't just some little thing. And then I just think about that too, like with like affirmations, when you're like, okay, like when I say like I'm an EMVP, I'm like, all right, like that's how I want to show up, and that's how I want to ask people, and I want to like I want to be convicted in that, and I want people to like feel that energy. And so I love that. And just those affirmations I feel like have probably been one of like the biggest game changers for me, even just to like have that oh my goodness, what's the word I want to use? Like that bravery to really just like reach out to people, because to me, like where I'm going in my business, it doesn't really matter anymore anybody can say anything and it won't derail me from what I know is the truth and what I believe about what we're doing and about where I'm headed. So yeah, mindset is just such a big thing, and it's so crucial, and just something that, like I said, just those those little tiny habits that we do every single day. Like when we were just reading the Atomic Habits, I think that mindset is just right in there with it. Like, what are you doing every single day to ensure that you have that positive, healthy mindset? And sometimes easier said than done, because it's life and life has circumstances, but I don't want to be derailed by anything. And so just working on that. So yeah. And then I was going to finish just with another thing from Christine Kane. She's just like my absolute favorite. I just love her. So she just said that sometimes the biggest sign that you are doing exactly what you should be doing is when no one but you and Jesus know what you're doing. And I just love that. And so obviously we have each other, and we all understand what we're doing in our hearts behind what we're doing. But I just think that, it's okay if people don't see your vision or don't see your dream. They're not supposed, like, people aren't called to understand your dream or your vision. They're not supposed to. That's your dream. And so as long as you and Jesus know what you're doing, then that's the biggest sign that you are doing exactly what you should be doing. So love you all so much. And that's really what I had. Sorry, kind of short and sweet, but